Dear grade 12 students, welcome to a new video lesson explaining a lesson from Portal to English. And today's lesson is about writing a discursive essay. So please get your student's book and open page number 92. By the end of this lesson, you are expected to recognize the structure, the outline, and the main features of a discursive essay after reading an essay suggesting ways of dealing with stress. Now, let's warm up with this starter activity from our student's book, page number 92, Activity A. We are going to discuss some issues related to stress. The first question discusses the possible stressors in our life, and it asks you about what kind of situations make you feel anxious or stressed out. So most people will say that whenever it comes to exams, they would feel a lot of stress. Also, if you're going to talk in front of people giving presentations, or you are going to face new changes and you have to adapt to these situations, exhausting schedule and having a lot of things to do in tight time might cause you feel stressed. Also, if you are worrying about anything that's going to happen in the future, that makes you feel stressed. Now with the second question, which is focusing on the impact or effects of stress on our lives. Oftentimes you will find that stress is causing you to feel some pain, either psychologically or physically. So most people might lose temper and become aggressive to others. Sometimes they suffer from eating disorder and they are not able to complete tasks on time. They might also be unable to sleep well or even become very sad and depressed. Now the third question is moving to the positive side of having stress in life. Can experiencing a bit of stress be good for you? In what ways? Some people believe that having stress in life could help them become more challenged, and when you have a new challenge in life, you will try to get out of your comfort zone in order to provide different solutions, and that will make you become more productive and more creative, and eventually you will become very engaged and stimulated in whatever work you are doing. The last question of this starter activity is asking you about your strategies that you adopt in order to cope with stress or get over your stresses. Some people might do something to get out of the feeling of stress. So they might read a book in order to focus on something else, or go for a walk, or sometimes people talk to others and socialize, get out with others, or they take a long hot shower that may refresh them, or do some breathing activities or exercises in which they are trying to get the negative energy out of their bodies. Now let's see a writing task for which we are expected to write a discursive essay. That will be in Activity B, page number 92 in your student's book. First, let's read the writing task. How can we help young people to become more capable of dealing with the stresses of modern life? Write an essay in which you express your opinion on the issue and provide justification for your point of view. Here we have some key words which help us understand what is the issue and what are we expected or requested to do. Here, how can we help young people to deal with the stresses? That's the main issue that we're going to write about. What kind of text are we expected to write? We are expected to express our opinion and provide justification for our arguments. In response to the previous writing task, we are expected to write a discursive essay. And now let's have a close look into the structure of the discursive essay. A discursive essay would consist of 5 paragraphs, starting with an introduction, ending with a conclusion, and in the middle you will have 3 paragraphs for expressing the writer's 3 arguments in order to prove his or her opinion. Now, let's delve into the outline of each paragraph, knowing what is there in each one. This is the introduction, the first paragraph in the essay, and it consists of 3 sentences. Each sentence is playing a very important role in the discursive essay. The first sentence is called the hook, and it is presenting a fact that is interesting about the topic. Here the topic is stress, and the sentence says the demands of modern life or modern world have made stress an unavoidable part of our lives. This sentence might need some more information in order to explain it. So the second sentence in the introduction is giving some supporting information or ideas, highlighting the importance of studying this because stress has harmful effects on our body and emotions. And the last sentence in the introduction is the most important one. Why? Because it outlines the writer's opinion and expresses how the writer is going to tackle the issue of stress. Is he going, for example, to write a story about stress, or he's going to provide some solutions, or is he going to write about the causes or effects? So now let's read the thesis statement and know what the writer is going to do. The writer says, to adequately prepare young people for the uncertainties of the modern world, we must thus strengthen them as individuals by equipping them with powerful tools to cope with the challenges of the world. So from this sentence, we understand that the writer is going to write some solutions in order to cope or to deal with the stresses of modern world. Now, looking closely into the second paragraph, we'll get to know the first argument for the writer in his opinion. The first sentence in each of the main part paragraphs is always to give the main argument or to give the main idea of the paragraph. Here, the main idea is talking about upholding the 5 pillars of Islam. The writer supposes that we need to teach our children to uphold the 5 pillars of Islam. Of course, this sentence would need to be illustrated by giving examples or the rationale behind this, and this is what the writer is doing in the following 2 sentences. He is giving or she is giving some examples by saying acts of faith such as daily prayers, fasting, and charity. All these help to strengthen religious beliefs, foster spiritual values, and build a positive, proactive mindset. And then he is giving or she is giving the rationale for this. These make a person more capable of dealing with difficult or unpleasant situations. Now let's move to the second argument for the writer. And again, the same thing as paragraph 2 is giving the first sentence, introducing the second argument, which is the second argument is learning the 21st century skills. Some people might argue, what are the 21st century skills? So the writer is answering this question by giving examples for the 21st century skills by including critical and creative thinking, problem solving, time management, collaboration, communication, organizational skills. All these, if we develop, as the writer says in the third sentence, if we develop these, the student or the young people will be able and confident to navigate the stressful and unpredictable environment in which we live. Now, in the fourth paragraph, the writer is giving us his or her last argument and starting by saying, last but not least, to help young people effectively manage stress, we must help them develop self-awareness. Here, some people might ask, what is self-awareness and why is it important for dealing with stress? So the writer is answering these two questions by providing some more information to support that argument, saying that self-awareness refers to the ability to recognize and reflect on your thoughts, emotions, feelings, and needs, and on your desire to react in specific ways. So that is considered a kind of definition for self-awareness. Then the writer says it also refers to your awareness of the body-mind connection. In other words, how your body responds to your thoughts and feelings. Still, this is part of the definition. Then the writer says this kind of insight gives you choice and control over how best to manage a stressful situation and enables you to take action before things get out of hand. It's clear now that the three main paragraphs are talking about three arguments. Each one is explaining why this argument is true. And now with the last paragraph in the discursive essay, which is the conclusion. To conclude in an effective way, the writer gives us three sentences. Each one is playing an important role. The first sentence is highlighting the importance of the issue by saying that clearly society has an obligation to prepare young people to face an environment that is fast-paced, unpredictable, and stressful. After that, the writer is giving us his or her opinion on the issue by saying, it seems to me that the key to enabling young people to cope with the demands of modern life lies in equipping them with the necessary tools to do so. Finally, the writer is summarizing the three arguments expressed and explained in the three main part paragraphs by saying these are an active faith, a strong sense of self, and the skills and abilities that, when mastered, can help them confidently tackle the problems they face. Now, after we have covered the structure and the outline of the discursive essay, let's get deeper into the main features of this type of essays. Let's answer the first question in exercise B on page number 92, which is asking you about the option that best indicates the purpose of the text. So, was the purpose of the text to compare and contrast different solutions to a problem, as in A, or B, to express the writer's opinion and discuss ways to deal with a problem, or C, to discuss the advantages and disadvantages of specific course of action, or D, to analyze the different causes of a phenomenon. Of course, if we look back at the writing task, which was asking us to express our opinion and provide justification, and if we read closely the discursive essay, we will feel confident to say that B is the correct answer. The purpose of the text was to express the writer's opinion and discuss ways to deal with a problem, and this problem was dealing with stress. In the second question, we are requested to write the numbers from 1 to 5 in the boxes provided next to the letters A, B, C, and D. Here, we will read the sentence and try to locate the paragraph in which this sentence is happening. So in A, in this paragraph, the writer briefly summarizes the specific points raised in the main part. So Where do you think the writer is summarizing the specific points raised in the main part? Yes, you're right. In the conclusion. And this is paragraph number 5. The last sentence, which says, these are an active faith, a strong sense of self, and the skills and abilities that, when mastered, can help them confidently tackle the problems they face. This sentence is definitely summarizing the main points raised in the main part. And now with B, in which paragraph the writer provides a definition of a concept? Yes, when the writer was defining the term self-awareness, that was in paragraph number 4. After giving the topic sentence about self-awareness, the writer started to say that self-awareness refers to the ability to recognize and reflect on your thoughts, emotions, etc., etc. And now with C, in which paragraph the writer makes a general statement to introduce the topic and provide his or her general opinion on the topic. Of course, this is happening in paragraph number 1, the introduction. The first sentence says, the demands of the modern world have made stress an unavoidable part of our lives. This sentence is making a general statement to introduce the topic. And D is asking about the paragraphs that list some examples to explain a point. Yes, that's right. In the second paragraph, the writer is giving examples for acts of faith in the second sentence by saying such as daily prayers, fasting, and charity. And also in paragraph number 3, when the writer gave examples for the 21st century skills, by saying that these skills include critical and creative thinking, problem solving, time management, collaboration, etc., etc. Now the third question is asking us like that. Has the writer done what he or she was requested to do? Did the writer achieve what he or she was requested to do? Of course, yes, because the writer was requested to express his or her opinion on the issue and provide some justification for each point that he or she provides, and that was clear in the text. The fourth question consists of 2 parts. The first part is asking us about the function of the first sentence in each paragraph in the main part. So what is the function or what is the role of the first sentence? Of course, it is called the topic sentence, and the topic sentence is giving us or introducing the main idea of the paragraph. And the next part of the question is asking about the role of the other sentences in each paragraph in the main part. Of course, these sentences are presenting us some more details and some more information in order to prove the argument raised in the topic sentence, the first sentence of each paragraph. The fifth question asks us about the phrases that the writer is using to link his or her ideas or arguments raised in the main part. Of course, the first argument was making use of this phrase, is of primary importance, when the writer said that upholding to the 5 pillars of Islam is of primary importance. It makes sense like this is the first argument. And in the second paragraph, the writer started by saying another effective course of action involves, as if he's saying secondly, and giving us the second argument. And the third argument started like that, last but not least, which means that the writer is giving us the last argument in the essay. And now with the last question in this lesson, the question is focusing on the main features of a discursive essay. And it asks about the writing style that has been used in the recently read discursive essay and about the characteristics of this style. It is evident that the style that has been used was formal and informative, as the writer didn't use any informal language or slang, and the writer didn't use any persuasive language as well. Also, the characteristics are clear, as there was a well thought out argument supported by evidence and reasoning from the writer in each paragraph in the main part. Also, the writer's opinion is clearly evident in the conclusion, in the second sentence, if you remember, when the writer said, "It seems to me that." And the writer didn't try to persuade the reader, so the language that the writer used was neutral and not emphatic. Let's recap what we have learned. Today, we have been through 3 things related to the discursive essay, which started with the structure of the discursive essay, which is consisting of 5 paragraphs, starting with an introduction and ending with a conclusion, and the 3 paragraphs giving the 3 arguments for the writer. Then we have been through the outline of the discursive essay, analyzing each paragraph and defining each statement and each sentence in these 5 paragraphs. And the last thing was the main features of the discursive essay. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember to find this video on Microsoft Teams. Goodbye.